Rain in Beijing never asked for permission. It simply arrived, confident and loud, like an uninvited relative who believed the house was already his. Xiao Zhang stood behind the glass window of the small cafe near Hohai Lake, watching the drops race each other down the surface. He had always believed rain had personalities. Tonight, the rain felt sarcastic, as if it knew something about his life that he didn't. "Sir, your coffee is getting cold," the waitress said with a polite smile that looked practiced in front of a mirror. "Let it freeze," Xiao Zhang replied without looking at her. "Maybe it will understand my heart better that way." The waitress blinked, unsure whether he was being poetic or simply strange. She decided on strange and walked away. Xiao Zhang was not a man who enjoyed drama. Unfortunately, drama enjoyed him very much. As a popular actor, his life was already a public exhibition, but lately it had turned into a poorly written television series with too many villains and not enough logical plotlines. And tonight, he was waiting for the biggest villain of all, his own feelings. Her name was Lin Yu. Even thinking her name made his chest feel like someone had rearranged the furniture inside without asking. He met her 6 months ago during a charity event. She was not an actress, not a model, not even someone from the glamorous circle that usually surrounded him. She was a translator who spilled orange juice on his expensive shoes and apologized in 3 languages within 10 seconds. He fell in love in 11. "Mr. Xiao Zhang," a voice interrupted his memory. He turned and saw a young man in a black jacket standing awkwardly beside his table. The man looked like he had rehearsed this moment for weeks and still forgot his lines. "Yes? I'm your biggest fan. I named my goldfish after you. Can I take a photo?" Xiao Zhang smiled automatically, the professional smile that lived on his face like a second skin. "Of course. How is my aquatic version doing?" "He died last week," the fan answered cheerfully. "I'm sorry for your loss." "It's okay. I bought another one and named it Xiao Zhang too." Life, he thought, was truly unpredictable. After the photo and several dramatic poses suggested by the fan, Xiao Zhang returned to his seat and checked his phone for the 100th time. No message from Lin Yu. She was supposed to meet him at 7. It was already 7:30, and his coffee had officially entered the emotional stage of abandoned beverage. He tried to convince himself that she was simply late, that Beijing traffic was a beast with bad manners, but a small voice inside his head whispered darker possibilities. What if she changed her mind? What if she finally realized dating a famous actor was like adopting a puppy that belonged to the whole country? The door opened, bringing a wave of cold air and the smell of wet streets. And there she was. Lin Yu looked exactly like chaos disguised as elegance. Her hair was slightly messy from the rain, her coat too big for her shoulders, and her expression carried the guilt of someone who had fought with a bus driver and lost. "I'm late," she announced before sitting down. "Don't ask." It involved an old woman, an umbrella, and a chicken. "I won't ask," Xiao Zhang said, though his imagination immediately created a complete action movie based on those 3 elements. She looked at his untouched coffee and frowned. "You waited. I considered writing a will. I'm sorry." Her voice softened, and the cafe noises seemed to step back politely. "I really am." He wanted to tell her that waiting for her was not a burden, that even the minutes without her had learned to breathe her name. But he was a man, and men often translated poetry into simpler sentences. "It's okay. You're here now." Lin Yu studied his face the way one studied a familiar book and still found new lines. "You look tired. My manager is planning my life until 2050. Apparently I'll be happy on a Tuesday." She laughed, that small bright sound that always made him feel taller. "Fame is cruel." "No," he corrected gently. "Fame is noisy. Cruelty is something else." For a moment they were silent, surrounded by the comfortable awkwardness of two people who loved each other but had not yet learned how to say it without trembling. I brought you something, Lin Yu said suddenly, digging into her bag. She placed a small paper box on the table. What is this? Please don't say chicken. Open it. Inside the box was a tiny handmade keychain shaped like a star, slightly crooked, clearly crafted by someone whose talent was enthusiasm rather than skill. I made it, she admitted. It looks like it survived a war, but it's sincere. Xiao Zhang touched the star carefully, as if it might run away. It's beautiful. It's honest, she corrected. He wanted to reach across the table and hold her hand, but the cafe was full, and in his world even walls had social media accounts. Lin Yu, he began, then stopped. Words suddenly felt like heavy furniture again. She waited. I invited you tonight because I need to tell you something. Her smile faded slightly, replaced by the brave face of someone preparing for bad weather. That sentence never introduces good news. He took a breath. Outside, thunder applauded. My company found out about us. The rain seemed to listen. And, she asked quietly. And they are not celebrating with cake. Lin Yu leaned back, folding her arms. They want you to end it. He nodded. Silence returned, thicker than before. A couple at the next table argued about dumplings, unaware that nearby two hearts were negotiating their own civil war. What do you want? She asked at last. Xiao Zhang looked at her, truly looked, not as an actor studying a scene but as a man afraid of losing the only place where he felt real. I want you, he said simply. But I don't know how to fight an entire industry. She smiled sadly. I once fought a chicken on a bus, remember? I'm experienced. He laughed despite everything. That was her magic, turning pain into a joke with gentle hands. Listen, Lin Yu continued, leaning forward. I didn't fall in love with Xiao Zhang the star. I fell in love with the man who talks to rain and apologizes to chairs when he bumps into them. I apologized only once. 3 times. I counted. Outside, the storm grew louder, as if auditioning for the role of destiny. Let's run away, he said suddenly. To where? Anywhere without headlines. She considered this with theatrical seriousness. I know a village where my aunt lives. The biggest scandal there is when a goat cheats in a beauty contest. That sounds perfect. But beneath the humor, fear still breathed between them. Love was brave, reality was a professional boxer. Lin Yu reached across the table and finally took his hand. Whatever happens, don't disappear from me, okay? I won't, he promised, unaware that life enjoyed testing promises the way children tested fragile toys. At that exact moment his phone rang. The screen showed his manager's name like a warning sign in bright colors. Xiao Zhang looked at Lin Yu. She squeezed his fingers once, giving him courage borrowed from her own uncertain supply. Answer it, she said. He did. And the voice on the other side changed everything. The voice on the phone did not sound human. It sounded like a calculator that had learned how to breathe. John, where are you? Manager Chen asked, each word polished until it lost all warmth. In a cafe, Xiao Zhang answered, watching Lin Yu pretend not to listen while clearly listening with her entire soul. Alone? He hesitated for half a second too long. In the world of managers, hesitation was a confession with makeup. Not exactly. A long sigh traveled through the line, heavy enough to cross oceans. The photos are already online. Lin Yu froze. The cafe music suddenly became too loud, the clinking cups too sharp, the rain too curious. What photos? Xiao Zhang asked, though his stomach had already guessed the answer. You and a woman. Holding hands near Hohai 2 days ago. The headline says, Nation's prince hides secret love. The comments are enthusiastic. Some want to congratulate you. Others want to adopt you. A few want to adopt the girl and raise her as their enemy. He closed his eyes. Fame, he thought again, was not cruel. People were creative. I'll handle it, he said. No, you won't, Manager Chen replied quickly. You'll come to the office tonight. We prepare a statement. Preferably one that includes the words, just friends repeated like a religious chant. Xiao Zhang looked at Lin Yu. She was stirring his cold coffee with heroic concentration, as if the spoon were a sword and the foam an ancient monster. I can't come tonight. Another sigh, this one with extra seasoning. John, listen to me. Careers die faster than houseplants. You have 3 films, 2 endorsements, and a toothpaste commercial depending on your single status. Love is not a toothpaste commercial, he whispered. Everything is a toothpaste commercial if the contract is big enough. The call ended with the efficiency of an execution. For a moment Xiao Zhang simply held the phone, staring at his reflection on the black screen. He looked like a man who had ordered soup and received a storm instead. Lin Yu cleared her throat. So, are we famous now or hunted? Both, he answered. With background music. She tried to smile, failed, and tried again. My mother always wanted me to be successful. I don't think she imagined success would involve angry strangers discussing my nose online. I like your nose. Thank you. It worked very hard to reach this shape. They laughed, a fragile bridge over a nervous river. What will you do? She asked. He wanted to say something heroic, something worthy of movie posters and slow-motion sunsets. Instead, he told the truth. I don't know. Outside, the rain began to calm, as if even the weather needed a break from drama. Lin Yu leaned forward, her elbows on the table, her eyes serious now. Listen to me, Xiao Zhang. I entered your life by accident. I spilled juice on your shoes, remember? I didn't come with a plan to ruin your career or become a headline. You didn't ruin anything. Not yet, she corrected gently. But your world is different from mine. In your world, love has a price tag and a schedule. He hated how right she sounded. I can fight, he said. We can fight. She studied him for a long time, long enough for 3 customers to fall in love, break up, and reconcile at the next table. Fighting is easy, she said at last. Knowing what you're fighting for is harder. The door opened again, and a group of teenagers entered, immediately recognizing him. Phones bloomed like electronic flowers. Whispers grew wings. Xiao Zhan lowered his cap instinctively. Lin Yu watched the transformation, the actor returning to his protective shell. See, she murmured. Even your shadow has fans. He felt suddenly tired of being seen and never understood. Let's leave, he said. Where? Anywhere the internet hasn't discovered. They escaped through the back door like characters from a low-budget romance film. The alley smelled of wet bricks and fried noodles from a nearby shop. A stray cat judged them silently from a trash bin. My life has become a spy movie, Lin Yu whispered. You'd be a terrible spy, Xiao Zhan said. You apologize to doors. Doors have feelings. They walked without destination, 2 fugitives from ordinary happiness. The city lights painted their faces gold and lonely. Can I ask you something dangerous? Lin Yu said after a while. Danger is already following us on social media. Ask. Do you love me, or do you love how normal I make you feel? The question stopped him better than any red traffic light. He searched her face, the familiar constellation of small imperfections he adored, the tiny scar near her eyebrow, the way her lips tilted when she was nervous. I love you, he answered slowly, because with you I don't have to act. She exhaled, a breath she had been carrying for months. Good answer. Very expensive answer. Before he could reply, a black van stopped near them with dramatic enthusiasm. The door slid open and revealed Manager Chen himself, looking like a man who had aged 5 years during one car ride. Get in, the manager ordered. Both of you. We need to talk before the universe invents more rumors. Lin Yu looked at Xiao Zhang. Is this a kidnapping or a meeting? With Chen, the difference is philosophical, he said. Inside the van smelled of coffee and panic. Tablets displayed articles, comments, photos, an entire digital storm with their names in the center. Manager Chen turned to Lin Yu with the expression of a general meeting an unexpected civilian on the battlefield. So you are the famous orange juice girl. She was promoted to coffee girl tonight, Xiao Zhang muttered. The manager ignored him. Miss Lin, do you understand what kind of situation this is? Fans are protective. Companies are allergic to surprises. Investors get rashes from romance. Lin Yu straightened her shoulders. I understand that I like a man who happens to belong to many strangers. Chen blinked, unprepared for poetry in a moving vehicle. We need a plan, he said finally. Either you disappear quietly, or we introduce you carefully. Both options involve suffering, just with different outfits. Silence sat between them like an uninvited relative, the same one the rain resembled earlier. Xiao Zhang reached for Lin Yu's hand again. This time he didn't care who saw. We won't disappear, he said. The van continued through the shining streets of Beijing, carrying 3 people and 1 reckless love toward an uncertain tomorrow. And somewhere in the city, millions of screens were already telling their story, incorrectly, passionately, and without asking permission. The entertainment industry did not wake up slowly. It woke up like a baby with a megaphone. By 8 in the morning, the name, Lin Yu, had traveled further than she ever had in her entire life. Her phone vibrated so violently on the bedside table that she considered calling an exorcist instead of answering it. Messages arrived from classmates she barely remembered, from cousins who suddenly discovered family pride, and from an aunt who only wrote, "Is he rich or just TV rich?" Lin Yu stared at the ceiling of her apartment and whispered, I should have stayed friends with the chicken on the bus. Meanwhile, on the other side of Beijing, Xiao Zhang was being dressed like a national monument. His stylist circled him with dangerous determination, adjusting his collar as if the fate of civilization depended on one button. Smile, but not too happy, the stylist instructed. You are in love, not in a toothpaste commercial. Manager Chen stood nearby holding a tablet like a shield. The press conference is at 10. You will say exactly what I wrote. No improvisation. No poetry. No staring at her like she invented oxygen. I don't stare, Xiao Zhang protested. You stare so hard even the walls feel emotional. The plan was simple in theory. Introduce Lin Yu as a normal woman, calm the fans, reassure investors, and survive the morning without becoming a meme. Reality, however, had never attended theory classes. Lin Yu arrived at the agency building looking like a student accidentally entering a palace. The lobby was filled with marble, flowers, and people walking fast with very important expressions. She felt as elegant as a potato in a jewelry store. A young assistant guided her through corridors that smelled of expensive decisions. Miss Lin, please don't read the comments, the assistant advised kindly. And if you already did, please forget how to read. Too late, Lin Yu thought. She was led into a private room where Xiao Zhang was waiting. For a moment the noisy universe stepped outside and closed the door politely. You look beautiful, he said. I look terrified, she corrected. Same thing in my dictionary. They stood awkwardly, 2 ordinary people wearing extraordinary circumstances. Xiao Zhang wanted to hug her but remembered there were cameras even inside the air. Chen prepared a script for us, he explained. We just need to sound calm and slightly boring. I can do boring, Lin Yu said. I once attended a 3-hour lecture about types of soil. He laughed, grateful for her talent of turning fear into small jokes. Before they could say more, Manager Chen entered like a commander before battle. Showtime, he announced. Remember, honesty with decoration. The press conference hall looked like a wedding between curiosity and chaos. Dozens of reporters waited, cameras blinking hungrily. When Xiao Zhang and Lin Yu stepped onto the stage, the room inhaled at the same time. Xiao Zhang spoke first, following the script like a careful traveler. Thank you for coming. I would like to introduce someone important in my life, Lin Yu. She is not from the industry, and I hope everyone will treat her kindly. Kindly was not the media's favorite hobby. A reporter immediately raised his hand. Miss Lin, are you aware that dating Xiao Zhang is considered a national event? Lin Yu leaned toward the microphone. I thought national events involved fireworks and speeches. Yesterday I was just trying to buy dumplings. Soft laughter spread through the hall. Even Manager Chen relaxed 1 millimeter. Another question flew in. Do you plan to enter the entertainment industry now? Absolutely not, she answered. I can't even act like I enjoy jogging. Xiao Zhang glanced at her with admiration. She was surviving the storm with an umbrella made of humor. But storms always kept one lightning for surprise. A female reporter stood up slowly. Mr. Xiao, rumors say this relationship is only a strategy to cover your previous scandal with actress Mei Rong. Is Miss Lin just a replacement? The room sharpened. Xiao Zhan felt the old wound open like an uninvited guest. Mei Rong, his past, his mistake, the chapter he never managed to burn completely. Lin Yu looked at him, confused. He had not told her everything. Love sometimes whispered instead of explaining. That's not true, he said firmly. The reporter smiled like a cat discovering a nervous mouse. Then why was Miss Mei seen crying outside your apartment last month? Silence became heavy furniture again. Manager Chen tried to intervene, but Lin Yu spoke first, her voice calm. I don't know about the past, she said. I only know how he looks when he feeds stray cats and thinks no one is watching. I know how he apologizes to chairs. Those things don't belong to rumors. The hall softened. Even the aggressive reporter blinked, temporarily disarmed by sincerity. Xiao Zhan felt something warm break inside his chest, not pain this time, but courage. The conference ended with cautious applause and 1,000 new headlines. Some were kind, some were wild, and some were written by people who clearly hated happiness as a hobby. Backstage, Manager Chen wiped his forehead. It went, acceptable. Nobody fainted. Lin Yu exhaled dramatically. I need noodles and a new identity. Xiao Zhan touched her hand quickly. You were amazing. I was hungry and angry. Dangerous combination. Before they could celebrate survival, a young assistant rushed in holding a phone like a burning object. Mr. Xiao, Miss Lin. Mei Rong just posted a video. The name fell between them like a cold coin. On the screen, the famous actress appeared with red eyes, speaking softly about betrayal, promises, and truth that will be revealed soon. Lin Yu watched silently, then looked at Xiao Zhang. So, she said quietly, episode 3 of our love story has a villain. He wanted to deny it, to protect her from the complicated maze of his past. But honesty stood between them, stubborn and necessary. Yes, he admitted. And she knows how to act better than all of us. Outside, Beijing prepared for another evening, unaware that two hearts were learning how to fight shadows together. Fame has a strange hobby. It likes to dig graves for memories that are not even dead yet. The video from Mei Rong spread faster than common sense. By evening, every screen in Beijing seemed to whisper her name together with Xiao Zhang's, like two planets forced into the same orbit by gossip. Lin Yu tried not to watch it again, but curiosity is a stubborn mosquito. In her apartment, she sat on the floor with a bowl of instant noodles that had already surrendered to coldness. The television talked by itself, reporters discussing the triangle of the year as if love were a geometry lesson. Her phone rang. Xiao Zhang's name appeared like a small lighthouse. "Are you okay?" he asked before she could say hello. "I'm having a romantic dinner with noodles and bad decisions," she replied. "I can come. You'll bring an army of photographers with you." He was silent for a moment, and she could hear the weight of his world breathing through the line. "I should have told you more about Mei Rong," he said finally. "Yes," Lin Yu answered softly. "You should have." Outside her window, a neighbor practiced singing with the enthusiasm of a wounded goat. Life continued, strangely indifferent to broken hearts. "Can we meet somewhere quiet?" he asked. "I owe you the truth, not the internet version." She hesitated, staring at the noodles like they might give advice. "Love is brave," she reminded herself, "but bravery sometimes needs transportation." "There's a small bookstore near my place," she said. "Nobody reads there." "It's perfect." The bookstore smelled of old paper and forgotten dreams. Shelves leaned slightly, tired from holding too many stories. Xiao Zhang arrived wearing a cap and a mask, looking like a celebrity trying to be a normal ghost. Lin Yu waited between the poetry section and a very optimistic book about becoming rich in 5 days. "You found the only place in Beijing without Wi-Fi," he said, sitting beside her. "I chose it for our safety and the dust for atmosphere." For a while they listened to the owner arguing with a radio that refused to play his favorite opera. "Tell me," Lin Yu said. Xiao Zhang took a deep breath, as if diving into a cold river. "Mei Rong and I met 3 years ago during a drama filming. She was talented, bright, and very good at pretending she didn't care about anything. I thought we understood each other." "And did you?" "Not really. We understood loneliness and called it love." Lin Yu hugged her knees, listening. She wanted a relationship that looked perfect from the outside. "I wanted something quiet, something real. We started fighting about things that didn't even exist yet. Future scandals, future children, future curtains." "Curtains can be dangerous," Lin Yu commented automatically. He smiled sadly. "When we broke up, she said she would never forgive me for choosing peace over passion." "And now she's back," Lin Yu murmured. "Yes. And she knows how to make noise sound like truth." The bookstore door creaked, letting in a breeze and a curious pigeon that seemed interested in self-help literature. Lin Yu watched the bird walk proudly between shelves. "Do you still have feelings for her?" she asked, the bravest question wearing a simple dress. Xiao Zhang didn't answer immediately. He looked at her instead, at the woman who entered his life by spilling orange juice and stayed by spilling courage. "No," he said. "But I'm afraid she can still hurt the people I love." The sentence hung between them like a fragile lamp. Before Lin Yu could reply, her phone buzzed violently. A new notification from an unknown number. "Leave him before you get burned too." She showed it to Xiao Zhang. His jaw tightened. "This is getting ugly," he whispered. "Ugly and creative," she added. "At least the grammar is good." Humor, again, their small shield. He took her hand, ignoring the dust and the possible ghosts of readers around them. "I won't let anyone push you away. You don't own the world," she reminded gently. "No," he agreed. "But I can be stubborn inside it." That night, the city decided to test his promise. As they left the bookstore, a group of reporters appeared from nowhere like mushrooms after rain. Cameras exploded with light. "Miss Lin, are you the reason Mei Rong is suffering?" "Xiao Zhang, did you cheat?" Is this relationship just revenge? Questions flew like stones. Lin Yu felt her heart shrink to the size of a nervous peanut. Xiao Zhang stepped in front of her instinctively. Please respect her privacy, he said firmly. A reporter pushed closer. Privacy ended when you dated a national idol. Anger, hot and protective, rose in Lin Yu's chest. She surprised herself by speaking. I didn't know loving someone required a passport, she said loudly. If it does, please tell me where to apply. Some reporters laughed, others looked annoyed for losing the upper hand. Amid the chaos, a motorbike suddenly roared through the crowd, too close, too fast. The rider stretched his arm toward Lin Yu's bag. Hey, she shouted as the strap snapped. Instinct moved faster than logic. Xiao Zhang pulled her aside. The bag disappeared together with the bike into the neon street. The crowd gasped. Cameras loved new disasters. Are you hurt? Xiao Zhang asked, checking her arms like she was made of glass. My dignity is bleeding, she replied, trembling. Inside the stolen bag were her wallet, keys, and the tiny star keychain she had made for him, the crooked honest star. She felt tears arrive without invitation. It's just things, he said softly. It was our star, she whispered. At that moment, love stopped being poetic and became real pain. Manager Chen arrived like a hurricane in a suit, pushing reporters aside. This has gone too far, he growled. Both of you, into the car. Now. As the vehicle drove away, Lin Yu looked back at the street where their ordinary evening had been robbed. Xiao Zhang held her hand all the way, silent but determined. Somewhere in the dark, Mei Rong was probably watching the news with a satisfied smile. And somewhere deeper, destiny was sharpening the next chapter. The police station smelled like old paperwork and tired coffee. Lin Yu sat on a plastic chair that had clearly given up on comfort years ago. An officer typed her report with the enthusiasm of a bored turtle. Describe the bag, he said without looking at her. It was black. Like my current mood. The officer paused, unsure whether to write that down. Xiao Zhang stood beside her, feeling useless in a building where fame had no currency. Manager Chen argued on the phone near the window, using words that sounded expensive and angry at the same time. I'm sorry, Xiao Zhang whispered. For what? For dating me or for the professional thief who clearly needed my lipstick more than I do? He smiled weakly. Both, maybe. Lin Yu watched the officer continue typing. Her life had turned into a genre she never read, action romance with bad lighting. After the report was finished, they stepped outside into the cold evening. The city looked innocent, pretending it had not just stolen a piece of her courage. I'll change the locks at your apartment, Xiao Zhang said. And you'll stay somewhere safer for a while. She raised an eyebrow. With bodyguards and dramatic music? With me, he answered before thinking. The sentence surprised both of them. Your house is probably surrounded by telescopes and aunties with opinions, she said. Then we'll hide inside like two very brave potatoes. Despite everything, she laughed. That was his favorite sound, proof that the world had not completely won. They arrived at his apartment building like secret agents with questionable skills. The elevator greeted them with suspicious slowness. Inside his home, silence waited politely. The place was large, elegant, and slightly lonely, like a hotel that had learned his habits too well. Welcome to my golden cage, Xiao Zhang said. It's a very handsome cage, Lin Yu admitted, touching a sofa that looked more expensive than her entire childhood. He made tea while she explored the living room, noticing small details the magazines never showed. A messy stack of sketchbooks, a plant dying heroically near the window, a photo of his parents smiling with proud confusion. You draw? She asked, holding one sketchbook. When insomnia visits. The drawings were gentle and unfinished, faces without names, streets without destinations. One page showed a crooked star almost identical to the keychain she had lost. Her throat tightened. "I'm sorry about your star," he said quietly, reading her thoughts. "It will come back in another life as a better artist." They sat on the floor, drinking tea like two survivors of a very strange shipwreck. "Chen thinks the robbery wasn't random," Xiao Zhang admitted. Lin Yu stopped mid-sip. "You mean, arranged?" "He's checking the CCTV. The timing was too theatrical." A chill walked across her spine. "So I'm not only dating a famous man, I'm also in a detective novel." He reached for her hand. "I never wanted this kind of chaos for you." She looked at him, really looked, the tired eyes, the stubborn kindness, the fear hidden under professionalism. "Chaos met me first," she said. "You just gave it a name." The next morning arrived with more noise. Mei Rong posted another message, this time less tears, more poison. She hinted about promises broken in the rain and a woman who pretends innocence. The internet ate it like breakfast. Lin Yu read the post while sitting at Xiao Zhang's kitchen counter wearing one of his oversized shirts. She looked like a warrior in borrowed armor. "Your ex is very talented at being dramatic," she commented. She once cried because a sandwich looked at her sadly. Lin Yu snorted. "I'm starting to admire her dedication." Before they could discuss further, the doorbell rang. Manager Chen entered with the expression of a man carrying 3 storms in one briefcase. "Good news and bad news," he announced. "Start with medium news," Lin Yu suggested. "CCTV shows the motorbike rider waiting near the bookstore for 20 minutes before you came out." "Not random." Silence. "And the good news?" Xiao Zhang asked. "Police recognized him." A small-time actor who worked as an extra on one of Mei Rong's projects. The room suddenly felt smaller. "So she really declared war," Lin Yu whispered. Manager Chen nodded. "And wars need strategies. I propose we fight with truth before she invents more fairy tales." Xiao Zhang looked at Lin Yu. "Are you ready for that?" She thought about her quiet life a few weeks ago, translating documents, arguing with buses, dreaming ordinary dreams. "No," she admitted. "But I'm more afraid of losing you than losing peace." The words settled between them like a promise wearing brave shoes. That afternoon they held another meeting at the agency. Lawyers, publicists, and people with serious hairstyles discussed options, interviews, legal actions, statements written with surgical care. Lin Yu felt like a character accidentally entering the wrong movie set. During a break she wandered to the balcony, needing air that did not contain strategies. Xiao Zhang joined her. "Overwhelming?" he asked. "I've been translated into 3 languages today. I'm not even a book." He chuckled, then turned serious. "There's something you should know before we go further." Her heart prepared for new bruises. "Mei Rong and there was a contract once. A fake relationship arranged by the company. It became real for a while, then unreal again. The public never knew the difference." Lin Yu stared at him. "So love in your world sometimes wears costumes?" "Yes," he said bitterly. "And I'm tired of acting off camera." She touched his cheek gently. "Then stop acting now." At that moment his phone rang again. An unknown number. He answered, listened, and his face changed color like a worried sky. "They found your bag," he told Lin Yu slowly. "In a river." "And the star?" He hesitated. "Broken." For the first time since everything began, Lin Yu allowed herself to cry, not loudly, not beautifully, just honestly. Xiao Zhan held her while Beijing continued its busy breathing outside. Somewhere, Mei Rong was probably preparing the next move. somewhere, fans were choosing sides like generals of keyboards. And somewhere between fear and hope, two ordinary hearts decided not to surrender. Some endings arrived politely, knocking on the door with flowers. Others crashed through the window like untrained birds. Lin Yu's family secret belonged to the second category. 2 days after the bag was found in the river, a middle-aged man appeared at the agency asking for her. He wore an old coat that smelled of long journeys and unfinished apologies. His name was Lin Guowei, her father, officially alive after 15 years of comfortable disappearance. "I saw you on television," he told her in the waiting room, eyes shining with pride he had not earned. "My daughter is famous." Lin Yu felt as if someone had rearranged her childhood without permission. "You left when I was 10, she said calmly. "Fame didn't invite you back. Curiosity did." Xiao Zhang watched from a distance, ready to interfere if pain became physical. The man explained about debts, mistakes, a life that learned cowardice too well. He also confessed something darker. Mei Rong had contacted him, offering money for information about Lin Yu's weaknesses. The room went cold. "So she even recruited ghosts from my past," Lin Yu whispered. Her father looked ashamed for the first time in decades. "I refused. I may be a bad father, but I'm not a weapon." When he left, Lin Yu sat silently for a long time. Xiao Zhan brought her tea and no questions. "My life is becoming a very crowded theater," she murmured. "Then we'll choose which actors stay on stage," he replied. Manager Chen decided it was time for a final move, a live interview where Xiao Zhan would speak without scripts, without decorations, only truth wearing simple clothes. The studio was bright, too bright, like honesty under surgery lights. Millions watched. The host asked gentle questions first, then the inevitable ones. "Mr. Xiao, why continue this relationship despite the scandals?" He looked directly into the camera, imagining Lin Yu somewhere behind the glass. "Because love should not apologize for existing," he said. "I'm tired of pretending my heart is a product needing approval." Murmurs spread. "And about Mei Rong's accusations?" Xiao Zhan breathed slowly. "I respect our past, but I will not let it kidnap my present. The truth is simple, I love Lin Yu. Not as a strategy, not as rebellion, just as a man." Somewhere in the city, Lin Yu cried in front of the screen, hugging a pillow that suddenly became very heroic. The interview ended with applause that sounded almost like forgiveness. Mei Rong answered with one last weapon. She organized a press conference promising the ultimate revelation. Reporters gathered like guests at a dramatic wedding. But when she stood before the microphones, something unexpected happened. Her voice trembled, not from acting this time. "I'm tired," she confessed. "Tired of playing roles even when the camera is off." She admitted manipulating stories, hiring the motorbike thief, feeding rumors to stay relevant in a world that forgets women faster than men. The room gasped, truth undressing publicly. "I wanted him back," she whispered, "but love forced by fear is only another costume." The internet exploded, then slowly learned silence. That evening, Xiao Zhan found Lin Yu on the rooftop of his building, watching Beijing dress itself with lights. "She surrendered," he said. "People get tired of being villains," Lin Yu answered. He handed her something, a new keychain, a star carefully remade by better hands. "I tried to copy your original disaster." She laughed through tears. "This one looks healthier." They stood close, the city below them sounding like a patient giant. "My father came back," she told him. "I know. I don't know whether to forgive him. You don't have to decide tonight." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "Do you ever wish we were just two boring people arguing about laundry?" "Every day," he admitted. "And every day I choose you anyway." Months passed like calmer waves. The legal case against the thief and the manipulations closed quietly. Mei Rong disappeared abroad to study acting without masks. Fans slowly accepted the idea that idols were also human beings with messy hearts. Lin Yu returned to her translation work, occasionally helping at charity events beside Xiao Zhang. Reporters still followed them, but with kinder eyes, as if the story had finally learned manners. One afternoon they visited the small cafe near Hohai where everything began. The same waitress recognized them and nearly dropped a tray. "Your coffee, sir," she said proudly. "This time I promise it will not get emotional." They sat by the window watching rain argue gently with the lake. "Do you remember our first meeting here?" Xiao Zhang asked. "I remember ruining your shoes and your single life. Best disaster I ever experienced." He took her hand openly now, no fear of cameras or headlines. "Lin Yu," he said, "if life offers us another storm, will you still stand beside me?" She pretended to think seriously. "Only if there's food and occasional jokes." "Deal." Outside, a child ran under the rain chasing paper boats, believing the world was made for adventures. Lin Yu smiled. "Maybe love is not about quiet days," she said. "Maybe it's about finding someone whose noise matches yours." Xiao Zhan kissed her fingers gently. "Then let's be noisy together." The waitress watched from afar and whispered to herself, "Better than television." And somewhere above Beijing, the rain applauded again, this time not sarcastically, but like an old friend finally approving the story.